Only you can hear this. They're coming for you. The voices in your head were right. So welcome back to another pointless internet series. This is the show where I talk about recent bollocks that's been plaguing the internet. Here in the bunker, it is absolutely fucking freezing at the moment. There is a water bottle tucked down my trousers. I'm pretty sure my balls have receded into my stomach to shelter for warmth. And I thought to myself, what better way to warm myself up than to get needlessly, pointlessly angry about a load of bullshit from the internet. Let's jump straight in, shall we, boys and girls?
But why? Why would you do that?
So first up, in the latest of many, many stupid decisions made by YouTube, the dislike button is gone. The YouTube dislike button no longer exists. I swear that YouTube has just got a supercomputer in its basement and it's just designed to calculate the worst possible decisions you could make for the website. And this thing just calculates the worst possible things you could do for YouTube day in, day out, 24 hours a day, and they look at the results and then actually carry them out. Now, I have talked about this in a previous installment of APIS, and some of you might remember that, but when I discussed it last time, it was only a potential thing. We weren't sure if it was going to happen yet or not, but now that it's definitely happened, I have a lot more to say. So let's start with the basics. YouTube, what the fuck are you doing? Why have you done this? Nobody asked for this. This is a terrible idea. I can't understand why you would even consider doing this. Well, the official reason it's put out is because it's to protect smaller YouTube channels and creators from being dislike spammed. Smaller YouTube channels such as my own, for example. So as a smaller YouTube channel, who is therefore in the perfect position to comment about this, can I categorically, for the record, say this is a terrible idea and you should revoke it immediately. Now, see, on one hand, I'm kind of lucky because I've never really been dislike spammed all that much, not yet, anyway. A few people have tried in the past, but generally speaking, I'm pretty sure I've always managed to keep a positive like ratio on my videos. I don't think there's been a positive dislike ratio on any of my videos so far. So sure, on one hand I've been lucky, but on the other hand, even if I had been dislike spammed really badly multiple times in the past, I would still think this is a bad decision. The YouTube dislike button is, well, was one of the most important mechanics on this website for two reasons. Number one, it allows you to easily and immediately see how a video has been received by an audience. Was it mostly liked, mostly disliked, or was there a kind of split down the middle? This is especially useful when you're watching a controversial sort of video, say a YouTube apology. You can take one look at the like-dislike bar and immediately see how well it was received. Is this an actual, genuine, an honest response, or is it just some fucking bullshit? The like-dislike bar was also very useful for this video here, which for many, many years was kept at exactly 50%. It had exactly the same amount of likes and exactly the same amount of dislikes. So that's fucking gone as well now, by the way. Well done, YouTube. You've just destroyed some internet history there. It's like blowing up Stonehenge to make space for a nice walled garden. And number two, it allows you to express your opinion on a YouTube video very easily and very clearly for everyone to see. If you think the video was scummy, or you don't agree with it, or you have an issue with how it was edited or made perhaps, you can just immediately leave a dislike, and that just shows everyone that you didn't like this for whatever reason. And if enough people think the same as you and also leave a dislike, they eventually begin to mount up, and a creator will notice, and they will take note, and they will figure out what's wrong, and hopefully, if they're decent fucking YouTubers, they'll actually improve and get past it and stop doing it. At the very least, they can be held accountable for whatever they're doing. And this, overall, I think is a very good thing. This can lead to YouTubers learning from mistakes, whether they're intentional or not, but they can learn from these mistakes. They're made aware of them, they take them on board, and they progress as both people and creators. It can and is a very good thing. Now, of course, you can still theoretically dislike the video. There is still a dislike button there, but the amount of dislikes a video has is no longer shown now. So what's the fucking point, really? Like, the button is completely useless now. It might as well just not be there at all. You see, if only the creator of the video can see the dislikes and how many there is, then they're just gonna fucking ignore it, aren't they? Unless they're genuine, sincere and honest people. Some YouTubers are, of course, but There's plenty that aren't, let's be realistic. And unless they're genuine, sincere people, they're just going to ignore those dislikes. They're not going to address them. The public and their subscribers will never know how many dislikes a video had. They'll be able to guess, maybe, that a video has a lot of dislikes if it's got plenty of views and not many likes comparatively. But there's no proof of that. That's just a good guess. And so, a YouTuber can just continue going on and making the same mistake, intentional or unintentional, and the situation just becomes more difficult. Or, on the worse end of the spectrum, a scummy YouTuber can just completely ignore the dislikes and continue doing something scummy and probably shitty for attention and money, without any kind of accountability whatsoever. The dislike button is a tool, like an axe. An axe is very useful for chopping down trees and stuff like that, but occasionally some dickhead will take the axe and use it instead to hack some people into very small pieces. Now overall, the axe is a very good and useful tool. We should continue to use it. However, it can be used for bad purposes as well, and sometimes, sadly, it is by morons. And the dislike button is exactly the same. It's great for voicing your opinion, it's great for holding people accountable, but occasionally some dickhead will take it and use it to spam. It can be abused, like any tool. But that doesn't mean we should get rid of the entire fucking tool just because some people misuse it. Most people don't. It's like those shitty teachers you get when you're a kid that punish the whole class for just one person being an asshole. It's the same thing. Everyone doesn't have the dislike button now because some people are dickheads about it. That's not fair. Do you know what else can be botted and misused? The fucking like button. You can spam the like button just as much as you can spam the dislike button. I don't see them getting rid of the like button. Now, there's more, boys and girls. Strap in. Upon leaving a negative review on Google Play Store for the YouTube app, I found a few hours later that my review was gone. My review was 1 star and it said something along the lines of, you will get 1 stars from me until the like button comes back. Because I think it's a terrible decision. And a few hours after I posted that review, it was gone. I didn't get a notification or an email or a message telling me that it had been taken down. It had just quietly and mysteriously disappeared. And later on, the same thing happened to another YouTuber that I speak to sometimes. He left a review, and within 10 minutes it was fucking gone. And again, no notification about it, just quietly gotten rid of. Now bear in mind that I haven't really looked into this much more. I haven't checked it on other app stores, I haven't checked it on like Twitter or in YouTube comments or anything like that. But from what I can see in front of me, based on the evidence, it appears that YouTube is removing any reviews that are negative and mention the YouTube dislike button. Either that, or they're mysteriously fucking disappearing, but somehow, I don't think the Easter Bunny's behind this one. Anyway, make of that what you will. That's my opinion, obviously, but like I said, I haven't checked into this any further, so I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this until more evidence comes to light, if it ever does. In short though, the removal of the YouTube dislike button was a bad decision and will be a bad thing for YouTube as a website overall. I completely disagree with the decision. I hope they revoke it, but let's be realistic, they're probably not fucking going to. The YouTube staff are just committed to making the stupidest decisions for this website, I swear to God.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Up next, I'm not really sure what to call this, to be honest. It's not like an update or an announcement, really. Think of it really as a very useful story time, I guess. So, on we go. Those of you who watch this channel and know how I dress will probably not be surprised to learn that I use a Walkman MP3 player. I don't have any music streaming services. I put my own music on Spotify and Apple Music, but personally, for myself, as like personal accounts, I don't have any streaming services. Yes, I know, I use a Walkman MP3 player, I'm so old. Let's get some good old-fashioned Moocake's an old man comments down in the description below, please. I use a Walkman MP3 player instead, that's where I put all my music. Or rather I did, until I fucking lost it 4 months ago like a moron. Anyway, long story short, I'm getting my new Walkman MP3 at Christmas. So since I lost it, and until I get the new one, I've been using YouTube for music. Just regular YouTube. Not the music app, just normal YouTube. With all of its really, really shitty ads. I swear that I hear the ads in my dreams at this point. They're just so fucking bad. So naturally, over the few months that I've been using YouTube for music, I got bored of just repeatedly searching for the songs that I like to listen to, so I've started putting them in a playlist. And I've been adding to that playlist over time, but it's always been private. And then yesterday I just thought, fuck it, I might as well make it public, why not? So I have made it public. It's just on my channel, it's called Moocake's Music, and it's literally just a playlist full of stuff I listen to, like, in real life, the music tastes I enjoy. So you kind of see why I wasn't sure what to call this segment. It's not really an update or an announcement, and if it is, it's not particularly significant either. It's just kind of like, if you have the same music tastes as me, you might get something out of this, so fuck it, I made it public, why not? Anyway, there's a link in the description, make of it what you will, let's fucking move on.
Smoking meat. Smoking these meats. Smoking meat.
And so, to finish us out for today, in the most pointless news of 2021, Facebook has changed its name. Now, not the actual Facebook app itself, but the company that runs Facebook, which is owned by everyone's favourite dysfunctional Terminator, Mark Zuckerberg.
You know, one of the crazy things when you do these live Q&As is some of them are very silly. So, we got one. Mark, are the allegations true that you are secretly a lizard? I'm gonna have to go with no on that. I am not a lizard, but you know, keep the high quality comments coming in, please. This is surely on track to be a great live Q&A if we continue getting stuff at that level of quality.
Basically, until very recently, the company Facebook ran the 4 apps: Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger. Now, that company that runs those 4 apps is instead called Meta. So first and foremost, what a shit name. This is definitive proof to me that Mark Zuckerberg has absolutely no imagination at all. Guys, why don't we call it Meta? You know? Like Meta? That sounds very youthful, I think. In fact, you could even say that it's Meta? No. I do hope you realise as well that nobody's going to call you Meta, right? I and everyone else will continue to call you Facebook. I guarantee that I will mostly call you Facebook for the rest of this video. And I would only call you Facebook if it weren't for the fact that I'm talking about you changing your name. But you see, it gets stranger, because with the announcement that Facebook was changing its name, they also announced that they were going to be starting something called the Metaverse, which just sounds like a really shit bargain basement MCU, doesn't it? Basically, as I understand it, this so-called Metaverse is going to be a massive virtual reality online world that's run by Facebook. Remember that film Ready Player One with the virtual reality headset world? It's basically going to be that, but really family friendly, probably shit, and with a Facebook coat of paint. Sounds fucking delightful, doesn't it?
Well, it's not New York, but I like it.
New York misses you.
Also, just to really point out how pointless the Facebook name change is, even Facebook called themselves Facebook when they announced this metaverse thing. They didn't even call themselves Meta. They called themselves Facebook in their first announcement after rebranding and changing their name. Are you all fucking stupid? What is going on in this company? Is it being run by monkeys on typewriters? Now, you may be wondering, as I did, why Facebook even bothered to do all of this at all. I mean, for years, they were more than happy to just be known as Facebook and run their 4 dysfunctional little apps and reap the rewards. Why do they suddenly want to be seen as some futuristic-looking cinematic universe? Which, by the way, they will never ever be seen as. Well, one theory is because Facebook's had a lot of shit thrown at their windows recently. There was all that shit with them selling data a couple of years ago, and I think before that as well there was something about really controversial use of personal ads, something like that. I think I remember something about them using private information to funnel more aggressive targeted ads at you, but I could be wrong about that genuinely, so don't quote me on that. And about a month ago as well, a former Facebook employee whistle blew the company and revealed that the high-ups and the executives were well aware of how potentially harmful the site could be. It had been for ages, and just didn't change anything about it, probably because the model was working financially, even if it was fucking the users over. Not good, Facebook. Not very family friendly, PG clean. Anyway, as well as that, the app Facebook has become a cesspool of bad ideas over the last 3 to 4 years. It's just known now as a place where anti-vaxxers and flat earthers can go to congregate and spread their shitty opinions about. And so a lot of people reckon that this name change from Facebook is just an attempt to distract and distance themselves from all of this shit that's happened recently. If they call us Meta and not Facebook, they won't immediately think of anti-maskers and rednecks when they say our company name. right? No. Perhaps this is all Mark Zuckerberg's attempt to start a clean slate and rise from the ashes of all the monumental fuck-ups Facebook have made over the last 5 years or so. But either way, it's not gonna work. So guys, when do you think that Mark Zuckerberg is going to give the order for his lizard brothers to rise from their cryogenic chambers, which have been buried around the Earth in strategic positions, so that they can take the Earth in under 24 hours once the signal is given? When do you think he'll give the signal? Leave your predictions in the comments below. Anyway, boys and girls, that's going to do it for this video. I'm out of things to rant about. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly didn't, actually. This video hasn't warmed me up in the slightest like I hope it would. This was a pointless venture. I don't have a fucking outro scripted. It's freezing. I'm genuinely going to fucking bed. That's not a joke. I'm genuinely going to fucking bed now, so fuck off.